Saudi Arabia, the world's fifth largest military spender at $80 billion annually, has been badly exposed by the current US-Iran war. It confirms that wealth and expensive equipment do not equal a strong military. And this is not just a Saudi problem. All the rich Gulf states share the same fate. So why haven't they built a strong military despite massive spending? The Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain, supply 23% of the world's oil and 15% of its natural gas. Deeply concerned about their security, they collectively spend over $100 billion on defense and account for 27% of total global arms imports. Their arsenals include some of the most advanced weapons in the world: F-15 Eurofighter Typhoons, F-16 and Rafales, with F-35 deals under discussion. On missile defense, they operate Patriot systems across the region, with Saudi Arabia and the UAE also possessing THAAD, one of the most expensive and capable systems available. On paper, they look formidable. In reality, they are not. Gulf militaries are built on imports rather than independence. Their advanced jets may be expensive, but the software, upgrades, spare parts, maintenance, and operational limits are all controlled by the United States. These countries cannot operate their own equipment at full capability without U.S. permission and support. Their training, maintenance, and battlefield support all come from foreign partners, meaning in a real conflict their effectiveness depends on external help, not internal strength. Iran has built its military around proxy warfare and asymmetric tactics. Israel has shaped itself into a battle-tested, highly adaptive force. The Gulf states, by contrast, have very limited experience with independent warfare. As a result, their militaries developed around buying advanced equipment rather than building the skills to use it. They have the weapons, but lack the joint operations experience, battlefield integration, and strategic planning needed to use them effectively in complex, real-world conflicts. Gulf states follow royal and hierarchical systems, which means defense decisions often rest with individuals who have little military knowledge. Command is centralized at the top, and lower-level officers are not trusted to make decisions on the ground. Modern warfare does not work this way. Without a culture of autonomy and trust in lower ranks, even well-equipped forces struggle to respond quickly and effectively in combat. The Saudi-led coalition in Yemen is the clearest example. Despite possessing advanced weapons, they repeatedly struggled against the Houthi movement, a force using low-cost drones and cheap missiles. The coalition relied heavily on airstrikes while showing serious weaknesses in ground combat. It was an embarrassing performance for one of the highest-spending militaries in the world. Gulf economies run almost entirely on oil and gas. Their critical infrastructure, refineries, LNG terminals, export facilities, is concentrated in a small number of locations and easy to target. Qatar, for instance, depends on centralized LNG infrastructure that could be seriously disrupted by just a few successful strikes. This economic vulnerability makes Gulf states deeply reluctant to enter open conflict. They prefer to rely on the United States for deterrence rather than act independently. Gulf militaries are structured to defend cities, oil facilities, and airspace, not to conduct sustained offensive campaigns. This is a fundamental limitation. Effective deterrence against a rival like Iran is not just about defense. It requires the credible ability to strike back hard and sustain military pressure. The Gulf states currently lack that capability. Ironically, Gulf military weakness is exploited more by the US and Israel than by Iran. The United States sells advanced weapons to Gulf countries while simultaneously retaining control over spare parts, upgrades, and software. This keeps Gulf states as long-term security clients rather than independent partners. Washington also provides security support without a full guarantee like NATO, maintaining leverage without taking complete responsibility. Ongoing regional tensions serve U.S. interest too, since instability drives more arms purchases. Israel benefits differently. U.S. policy ensures Israel maintains a qualitative military edge over the region, so some advanced weapons sales to Gulf states are limited or delayed to preserve that balance. Israel is also dominant in intelligence. cyber warfare, and targeting systems, areas Gulf states depend on indirectly. And since both Israel and the Gulf share concerns about Iran, a quiet strategic alignment between them continues to grow. Israel, along with the United States, openly uses the bases and airspace of Arab nations to extend its aerial operations. In return, Israel has no obligation to defend them. In the event of retaliation, Arab nations absorb the strikes directly or use their expensive interceptor missiles to neutralize attacks that would otherwise reach Israel, effectively serving as a buffer zone that buys Israel time and space to intercept incoming threats. Gulf countries are attempting to build their own defense industries, but this is a slow process requiring technology, experience, and skilled manpower that takes decades to develop. For now, deeper integration with U.S. systems is actually increasing dependency, not reducing it. Meanwhile, Gulf states are exploring partnerships with Pakistan, Turkey, and China to diversify their options. Future conflicts in the region will increasingly be decided by drones, cyber warfare, and precision missiles rather than traditional large-scale battles. In that environment, cheaper and more flexible systems can effectively challenge expensive conventional hardware. And Gulf states are not well positioned for that shift. Money can buy weapons, but it cannot buy doctrine, experience, independence, or the institutional trust needed to fight effectively. Until Gulf states address these deeper structural problems, their military power will remain impressive on paper and limited in practice.